Hey, football fans, big news today. The NFL approved the move for the St. Louis Rams to come back to Los Angeles. So guess what? Pretty soon we're going to be hearing the Los Angeles Rams. Back to the glory days, back to how it used to be, I believe, prior to 1990 when they played at the Coliseum and they played at Anaheim Stadium. So this is really awesome. And with that, it looks like the Chargers also, they might be swinging a deal with a brand new stadium to also play in the same stadium with the Rams. Fantastic, big news. It's really huge. Now I'm going to show you something that I got back in the day when we used to go to Ram games. We went to Ram games all the time, okay? I think the first time I ever went to a Rams game was in the mid-'70s with my friend Kevin. In fact, we went on this, it was like a party bus with a bunch of adults, and they all got drunk. I mean, they were like all drunk, and here we are, two kids in junior high, kind of like, we're eating the snacks and everything and drinking the sodas, and everyone's like, hey, Mom, speed up the bus. We got to get to the Coliseum. Let's go. So anyway, went to the games. It was fantastic. And then after the party bus, my friend Mark and I would go all the time. We would drive to all these games. It was fantastic. In fact, here's a really interesting story. I forgot about this. When the Rams played in the Coliseum, my mom and my dad went on a Monday night. They went and they met Ricardo Montalban. Okay, Ricardo Montalban, yeah, who plays. He was, I think, Mr. Somebody in Fantasy Island, okay, like Tattoo, the plane, and he was Khan in Star Trek, okay, so that's the original Star Trek and the original movie, not the new Khan, not Benedict Cumberbatch. But anyway, I digress, or go on a rabbit trail. So anyway, with that said, we spent a lot of time at the Coliseum, a lot of time at Anaheim Stadium, and I got this a long time ago when the Rams were in the playoffs, and that is the famous Rammy Whammy. Do you see that there, okay? This was the weapon of a Rams fan. I became a Rams fan when Star Wars came out, okay? So that's how long it's been when I first started following the Rams. I think it was maybe the 2 years before Star Wars came out. Well, that gives you some kind of context to this. But anyway, here's the other interesting thing. Since the Rams left and went to St. Louis, okay, I remember a lot of people were kind of lamenting the fact that they were gone, but there just wasn't enough fans here, and that's because I think the owner drove the team into the ground, and it was just really awful. The organization just went downhill. The other thing, too, that was interesting is that the year that they announced that they were leaving, the Rams Booster Club got together and said, hey, we want all the Rams fans in Southern California to get together. We're going to meet at Anaheim Stadium. We're going to show the NFL how much we love this team and we want them to stay here. And 50 people showed up. And when 50 people show up out of all of Southern California and all the fans, there was tons of fans, thousands of fans. That just told the NFL, yeah, you might as well just go ahead and go. There's only 50 people here that are at this booster club and the rally, so adios. So the Rams left. Now, since that time, people have sworn their allegiance to other teams, okay? Like, for instance, locally, we got Cowboy fans, Bronco fans, Packer fans. We got Seahawk fans, bandwagoners. We got all kinds of fans all over the place. So when the Rams come back, it's going to be very interesting to see people give up their allegiance. Now, for me, personally, I'm a Packer fan. Now, here's how I became a Packer fan. Back in the day, while I was a Rams fan, actually, even before I became a Rams fan, I read this book about Bart Starr, and when I read it, I'm like, this guy is really cool. I read about the legacy and the history of the Green Bay Packers, and all of a sudden, I became a Packer fan, but you couldn't watch him on TV. We didn't even have cable here. We didn't have the NFL Network or anything like that. You couldn't watch him on the internet because there was no internet for the public back then. So basically, you're watching the Rams. We're Rams fans. Now, but I would follow the Rams. I would follow the Packers in the paper and on the radio. How did they do, you know? So then all of a sudden, I was a Rams fan, a Packer fan number 2, and then all of a sudden I met my wife in help me out here, end of 81, and as we were dating, I found out that she was, she's from Wisconsin, and a lot of her family, the majority of her family live in Wisconsin, and not only do they live near Wisconsin, a lot of them had tickets. Some even kind of worked for the organization, and then I'm just like, oh my goodness, this girl that I'm going out with is in Packer Nation. So before you know it, I didn't marry her because she was a Packer fan, or she's from there. But we got married, and then suddenly the love for the Packers, as the love for the Packers started to grow, and we started buying jerseys and hats and gear, the owner of the Rams were treating the team like garbage, and it started going down. So it was like the Rams just didn't have any more support. The owner basically stunk, and next thing you know, you're starting to follow an organization that has integrity, it has pride, it has a history. And then I became a Packer fan. And I tried to root for the Packers, or the Rams, I'm sorry. I tried to root for the Rams when they left and they went to St. Louis. And yeah, I rooted for them when they were in the Super Bowl. But it just wasn't the same because, you know, the Rammy Whammy and them being in town and following them. And it was like, I'm glad they're doing good. And now they're just a blip on the screen. But now they're back. So what do you do now? For me, I am still a Packer fan #1. In fact, I'm glad that the Rams are coming back and the Chargers are coming back because it gives us an opportunity to possibly see the Packers when they come to LA in a brand new stadium all the way down by the airport. That drive's going to, forget it. That drive is going to be a mess off the 105, but it's okay. Anyway, so basically, I'm glad they're back. But the question is what about other people? Are they still going to have their allegiance to their team? I mean, what about all these Rams fans that were Rams fans and suddenly they're following other teams? So what's going to happen now? Okay, what's attendance going to be like? I have a feeling that people that go are going to do this. They're going to go for a couple of reasons, because they have money. The people that have money in LA are going to go. The second one is they're going to go to see the other team. And it's going to take a while to build, I believe, a following. It really is. I'm still going to root for the Packers. It just gives us, like I said, another opportunity. This new stadium and 2 more teams gives us more opportunities to see the Packers play. So with that said, welcome back, Los Angeles Rams. Glad you're back. Hopefully everything comes back. But it's almost like this long-lost cousin that you haven't seen in a long time, and they come back in your life, and you're like, so, what are we talking about? I don't know. Are you married? Do you have kids? Do you go to school? Do you work? How's it been for the last 25 years? I mean, there's nothing to catch up. It's like a whole new generation. It's like Star Wars Episode 7. It's like the LA Rams, I thought they were a myth. They're not a myth. It was all true. The Coliseum, Lawrence McCutcheon running back, John Cappelletti, the championships, they're all real. All of them. So, LA Rams, you're home.